Hi, and welcome to my video that I call Drawing Superheroes for Kids. Now, most of my videos are geared for the beginner anyway, but I thought I would take it down a notch and show even the youngest child how to draw. So let's get started with that. First of all, it starts out with the body, and a lot of kids can only draw stick figure, and that's fine. So we'll start out with the stick figure, and then we'll go from there. So the first thing you want to do is when you draw your stick figure, you want to, and I'll do a female and a male just because. So you want to start out just like the stick figure with the shoulders, and you want to go straight down. So basically you're making the letter T. That's a capital T. So this is the length of the body. So you want to keep that in mind. So at the bottom of your capital T, you want to make a capital A. You don't want this line to be as long as that line. So you want to do this and this. So if you actually look at it, that could be a capital A. So you want to take this off right here. Now, as I say, you don't want this line to be as long as that line because we're going to bring this in, and superheroes always have that wider shaped body. So this is why you have this line longer than that. So from there, you want to bring this down here like that. Now from here, you have that line here. So you want to make a V. Let's bring that line down. You want to make a V. Now this is going to be a little crooked because this is for beginners, so it's not going to be perfect, but I want to show you how to do the body. Now, let's bring this up because this is going to be the neck. This is your shoulders. These are your legs. So from here to here, you want to bring it in. You don't want a straight line like that. You want to bring it in like so. And this one as well. Now at the bottom, you want to gauge how long you want your legs. And I hope I'm not going off camera. And then at the bottom, you just want to cut it off like this. And later on, with a little practice, you'll be able to get it. The proportions. And from this corner, you want to do your arms. And you want to come all the way down to at least here, which will be your belt, your waist. And the same with your legs. You don't want to come straight out like that. You want to bring it straight down like this. Not to a point, but you want to cut it off right here. And that's your wrist. Same thing here. Like so. Now, this, you want to put your head here. And I just do this because I gauge the size that I wanted, but just keep going, and then I'll eventually come up with the size that I want. Now, from here, you want you to do a neck. Straight down. You just add 2 more lines straight down. Now, usually when I teach people to draw feet, it's just basically a triangle, like so, down and out. But, and that is, straighten that out a little bit. We don't want our superhero standing like the penguin. And as I say, you can adjust the size. So what I do here is I bring, and I need to stop moving my paper up. I bring this triangle in a little bit, not so far out like this. I just bring it in a little bit, and then on top of that, I put an indication where the foot is. So instead of going so far out, let's bring this down and out, and a little indication of where the toes would be at, like so. And erase that, and you'll see what I'm saying. And we're not going for perfection here, because this is for the true beginner. And then your hand. Now, a lot of people will draw hand. A lot of beginners will draw hands, and I'm going to chop that off right there. A lot of beginners will draw hands. They'll draw the mitten hand, because they have really no one to teach them. They had no one to teach them. And I was the same way when I was young. I didn't have anybody to teach me. And that is the reason why I'm doing these videos, so that I can teach people a little easier than the way that I had to learn. So we're doing a mitten. So let us take that. And as I said, that's fine. But we're going to square that off. We're going to take this. I'm going to bring this down almost like a triangle. And the same thing with the thumb. We want to square that off. And then from there, you want to add your fingers. And the same way you do stick figure, you can do 1, 2, 3, like that. And then just add some meat to that. We'll make that a cylinder. And then just add your thumb there. Now that's kind of a big hand, but basically, let's draw it up here. You're taking your mitten, you're squaring it off, adding an extra piece to the thumb, just a curved piece, and then your fingers. And you can put the fourth finger here, but usually you won't see it in that position. So it would end up looking like that, and then there's your wrist. Now you don't have to have it curved, you can have it just straight down, but you're just using that mitten shape to make your hands. So let's do it with this one. And I'll put this finger straight down. Remember, we square that off, put that straight down, put the other finger here, and put the third finger here. And then just add a little more thumb to it, like so. And it's a quick and easy hand. Now, if you wanted to do a fist, which most superheroes always ball their fist up, and I'll do it here. I have to make room for the woman. So it's basically a square, like so. Same way you did the mitten, you just put a square here. And this square comes in like that. This line here will come to this point like that, and you'll make a V. You just make a an upside down Y V. Make an upside down Y, the letter Y. And then you have your fist, because this is the finger that curves in like so. And then you have your wrist here. And then you would do that same thing on the other side. Square. You would have your thumb, which is just a little box that comes in like so. Remember, from this corner, you want to aim your line this corner, and you want to do a Y on the opposite side, not on the thumb side, but on the opposite, just a little bit like that. And then you have a fist, and just curve that around, and then you put your wrist there, and that's a quick makeshift fist. But we put this guy's hands open to make that a little easier for you. Now, from here, we want to continue with the superhero body. From here, you want to put 2 triangles on his shoulder, not too high up, just about halfway through the neck, like that and like that, because a superhero has to have broad shoulders. So now the hard part is done. Now you should have in mind what kind of character you're drawing. Either you're drawing Batman, Superman, or a character of your own. So let's do a little more to this head. Now, usually the male characters usually have more of a square chin, like so. The head is a little big, but you can adjust your head. Whereas the female will have more of a pointy chin, and I'll do the female in a second. So, I have that, and then let's go for the female, and then we'll come back and we'll put detail on the body. Now, for the female, I'll make her a little smaller. What you want to do is do a V. Not broad at the top, because this is going to be her shoulder. So you want the man's shoulders to be a little wider. So you want to do a V, like so. And this is going to be the length of her body, her upper body. So you don't want to make it too long, and you don't want to make it too wide. Remember, you're doing a woman, a female body. And then from there, you want to do another V. V, did I say V? Triangle. So you want to put your line here, your center line, makes it a little easier. And then just do another triangle, like so. Till you have that. And this is the hips. This is the top, the upper body. This is the hips. This is the neck. Now from this point, you want to do the same thing as you did the man. Draw the legs. You know, you don't want them to come to a point. If you have a habit of coming to a point, that's fine. Just chop it off right there at the ankle. So I'll do that again and just chop it off at the ankle. But you want to make her legs long enough till she looks tall. Now, for the shoulders, same thing. Bring it out and bring it in. And as I say, if it comes to a point, and let's just do it in a point to a point to make it a little easier. And you want it to come down to about right here. The hands should end right here, so the wrist should end a little higher. So we come to a point, and we just chop it off right there, and then do the hands. And I'll do this in a point like this. Just make it easy. And then the fingers, like so. Remember, if you're doing the mitten, then that's fine too, because you're just going to curve that up, cut that right there, bring that into more of a triangle almost, and then your fingers. You can have the bend in your fingers if you want, or you can have them straight. And this finger and that finger, like so. And you can adjust the hand size later. Now, bringing it up, as I said, the man's chin is usually square, whereas a woman's, I'll do a V first, a V, and then put her head. So it's almost like doing a balloon, because the head is going to be wider, like a balloon or an egg with a V at the bottom. And you have to play with the size of the head. Now, the woman's neck is not going to be as broad as a man's, or as wide as a man's, or thick as a man's. And then you want to put shoulders, and she's not going to have high shoulders as well. Her shoulders, you want to bring kind of slope down like so. You want to put a curve on it, because if that's her head, that's her neck, her shoulders will be more like this, like that. Now, the same thing for the feet. You want to come basically straight down and not so far out like this. And I'll just use that as a bad example. You want to go halfway to that, from here to here, maybe about like that. And the same thing for here. I'm going to go down. It's almost straight down and just out just a little bit. So it's almost like making, if I did this, it's almost like making a complete triangle and cutting it in half. Now, I've done a video on transforming the stick figure into the full figure, and I will put a link below so that you can check that out to get a little more detail on how to do that, depending on your drawing skills. Now, from here, let's work a little detail into the body. And you really don't have to put too much detail into the body, especially if you're putting a uniform on, or that's going to cover up a lot of the body. A lot of kids want to do the abs and the big chest and the strong arms, but you have to get the body, the figure proportion right. So let us do this. So remember, this is the hips. So we want to curve that off. We don't want that rectangle, that triangle. We're taking that triangle away and curve that up. Now the knee halfway down, we'll just put a knee here. And I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to dress her. I don't want to dress this as your standard, Wonder Woman or Supergirl type, because, you should have your imagination running by now. You should know that what kind of superhero you want to draw, or heroine that you want to draw. So doing the chest for the woman. Now, doing the chest for the woman is, if you do 1, 2, 3, you just take the 3 and turn it up like so, but you don't want it to curve like that. Just basic up, and it's around about the armpit, just up like that. And that's all you need for the woman's chest. Now the man's chest is different, because I said right around the armpit, depending on, if you don't want your arms down here, remember, and you don't want them way up here. You want to give them a little bit of size to indicate strength. So the man's chest, it curves like that, and then up, like so. Now, to do the abs, a lot of people want to do abs. You just want to do a triangle, just slightly below that, like so. And then you want to come down. It doesn't go straight down. It comes down, almost like you're doing a kite. So if you take this triangle here, then you do another set here, another line like halfway down. And then you can have your abs. This is just quick abs for the man. And with a woman, you don't want the six-pack. You still want your triangle. And let's remove these lines because I'm just seeing them. We really don't need that. We could have kept that right here. So you want to do a smaller triangle here and just a line and stop that line there. And let's remove some of this. And an eraser is your friend. Don't get frustrated if you can't get it the first time. Drawing is practice. Anything is practice. Riding a skateboard is practice. Singing is practice. You know, and for here, you want to just do a V, just a small V here. Everything is practice. Don't get frustrated. Let's keep that for a while. So we're going to get rid of this and this. And your collarbone, this line basically represents your collarbone. You don't have to keep it. Now, at this point, I'm looking and the hard part is done. So you dress your character. As I say, you should have by now an idea of how you want to dress your character. So let's do this. Let's give her some high boots. And that's just putting a triangle right here. And as you get more into it, you'll be able to shape the legs a little better. I'm just going to shape them up a little bit. It goes in and your calves, it curves out. So you really don't have to worry about this yet. Now, from here, let's do some stripes on the side of her. Put some clothes on her, some stripes here. And this is just something I'm making up right now. And let's do some stripes here. A V. And I'm just kind of making this up. And I'll color this in a second. And here. Now, let's give her some gloves. And remember, the arms and the legs are cylinders. And the cylinder is just a circle like that. And think about a pencil, you know, if you drew a pencil, you know, this is your eraser on your pencil. So that's just a cylinder. So if I took a string and I wrapped it around this pencil, it wouldn't go across the pencil like this. It would wrap around. So the roundness of this, your eraser, would be the roundness of whatever you put around it. Piece of tape, string, whatever. So I'm saying that to say that the arm is a cylinder. So if I put gloves on her, since I put high boots on her, I'll put high gloves. So the gloves won't go straight across like that. They would go around like so. Because the arm is just a cylinder. Now I'll put a V here and I'll give her a turtleneck. And right now, as I said, I'm just playing because I have no idea what this is going to turn out to look like. So for the head, when you do the head, and I did video on drawing the face, so I'll use this as an example. The head, split it down the middle, and you're always doing half, half, and half when you draw the head. That's the secret, half, half, and half. So you split it in half. I think there's another half in there too. You take this top piece from the head to the chin, and you go half. That's about right there. Now you take from this, and this is where your eye would sit on the half piece. So you take this from this part, the eye line, to the chin, and you go half again, which would be where the nose sits. And then you take this where the nose and the chin goes, and you go half of that, and the mouth would sit right there. So we'll do that, half, and I'm just eyeballing it right now. Half, half, and half. Same thing with the guy. Half, 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 and half. So now you have your face proportions. Now you can cover the face if you just want to put a mask, if you don't want to put a mask, but superheroes usually wear masks so that people won't recognize them and show up at their house trying to beat their family up or beat them up. So from here, let's put an eye, and to do an eye, you just want to go, well, an eye is really a circle, so you just want to do this and that. It's kind of like a dome, and another one underneath. And the nose, we'll just use a V because it's a small face. And the woman's lips, let's just do a triangle, one above and one below. Now let's put a mask on her. Let's just do your typical mask like so. Like that. And let's give her some ears. You have to have ears. And your ears, just in case I left that out, between your nose and your eye line, your ears fall into that slot right there. So the same thing on the other side. And drawing an ear is just drawing an oval. Like so, you just draw an oval and you cut it, and here's the ear. Actually, the top will come out more than the bottom. But for a woman, the hair tends to cover it up. And I'll give her some hair later. Now let's work on the man. And I will ink this so that you can see through all those messy lines that I just did. Now let's start with the lip. For the man's lip, you don't want the full lips as a woman, but you do want a bottom piece right there. The nose, the V again, and the eyes are the same way. Now, I have no idea how I'm going to dress this guy, but we're going to dress him, and let's put some ears there. And I'll do a quick ink later. So, usually, okay, let's give him a belt. Let's give him like a utility belt like Batman. So you already have the line here. So you just make another line there. Now, I know I said about curve, but since the belt is straight on at us, it would look a little strange if we curved it. It looked like it's hanging down. You can do it, and I will show you, since I brought that up. You can curve it down like so. But on this one, it looks a little better straight across. I'll give it just a little bit of curve. How about that? Now this V for his that's not the waist. We'll just bring that out more or down more. So he won't look like he's wearing a thong. What's a thong? Don't worry about it. Ask your mom. So there. Now you can give him the typical superhero underwear, as they call it, or you don't have to. You know, I think they're getting rid of the underwear now because the old superheroes back in the days, the 60s, the 70s, and a little bit of the 80s, they all had the little underwear, but now they have the one piece. You know, I don't know. I mean, this is changed with the times. So for this character, we'll keep the underwear. Now, halfway down, we'll do the knee. And I don't want to give him big boots like hers, but so let's just give him regular boots. And again, we're curving. And the reason we curve here, here, and not here is a perspective thing. And I did a video on perspective, and I will leave the link to my channel so that you can go through and take a look at some of the videos. There might be something that you need or would like to see. So from here, let's give him some gloves too. Not too high gloves as the woman's. And let's give him some kind of wristband. Bands too. Now, you can give him some kind of a symbol on his chest, or you don't have to. But let's do it. Let's just give him some kind of symbol without stealing somebody else's symbol. Let's put a star. You know, I know Captain America has a star, but I'll change his star up a little bit. Just because he's a superhero. of symbol this is, but he's a starfighter, and something like that, because it still looks too Captain America-ish. Okay, so that's his symbol. Now, if you want to put a cape on him, and let's put a cape on him because a lot of superheroes have capes and they look good in capes. The cape is going to fall from around the back of the neck. So it's going to tie up around the neck just like a necklace. It's going to tie up somewhere around the neck and then come around off the shoulder like so. From this part, come off the shoulder. Now, if you put a coat or jacket or something or a towel, you know, around your neck, you're going to have some kind of a wrinkle. You have some kind of wrinkles up here. So that's good to have. And then the cape will come down like so. And it depends on how long you want your cape. You can have it down to the ground, but we'll stop his. And then you don't want a straight across cape because that looks like a towel. You want to put some flow to it, just some curves like that. And it looks like he's got some, his cape is wide, so when he flies, you know, the cape will open up and it looks cool. So what else do we have? I think that could be it for him. Oh, let's do a mask. Now with this guy, you can do the small mask like her, or you can do the full mask. And since we did the small mask on her, let's do a full mask on this guy. So you don't have to cover the nose, or you can cover the nose. Let's just do this. Maybe I'll cover the nose. But you want to take this and you want to bring it down along the cheek like so. So basically that's almost like drawing a house, you know, and you have the nose here and the mouth here, you know, and then the chin comes out here and your eyes here. So you can either do that or you can do the Batman style where it'll actually cover the nose. But since I have this, I kind of like that one. So we won't do the Batman style. Now, because he has a full mask, you can either do two ways. You can here's his top of his head. I just took that off to make it a little better. You can have it stop right here and have the guy's hair, which, you know, sometimes it looks kind of cool. Or you can cover the hair up completely by having a complete face mask like that. And I kind of like with the hair, so I'll cut that off again and I'll just cut it along here and put the guy's hair back. Now, and I think just for the heck of it, I'll put a little star right here. So that is about it. And you want to round these off. You don't want the triangles so much. You want to round it off because the abs are like that, basically. And there's a V on the top of that, and it curves around like so. And then you get into shadow and light and so forth, but we're not going to worry about that. So let's finish the girl. Before I close this off, because I want to ink this. So I have no idea. Let's just give her some long hair. And her hair is going to come down in front of her face. And hair does not just sit on the top of your head like that. Hair flows and it gives it some fullness and some body. Like so. And some hair there. So it's going to come down and it's going to cover this ear. And that's what I say about like ears for women. The hair covers it most cases. And then you get rid of that. Now, do I want to give her, let's put a belt on her just because she doesn't need one, but let's put it, and you put it right there at where the two triangles come out and come together. You put that belt here. And then let's just be creative. I'll put like a sword on her back. She's some kind of a ninja warrior. And make this sword, let's bring the sword all the way down. It's a long sword. Why carry a short sword when you can carry a long sword? And you can put, if I decided to put a strap around her, I'm putting a lot of detail into this now, like so. All right, so now from this point, let's just ink this thing and then see what we got. If I can find me a good ink pen that actually writes. Let's see if this one will do. Get rid of some of the line. And like I said, you want to make the point a pointy chin for a woman, and this curves around like so. And we'll do the eyes, the mask, the nose, and the nose is just a V depending on how big the head is. And then you do the mouth, which is a triangle, like so. And then the hair, however you put your hair, but you should have an idea of, you know, what kind of superhero you want to draw. And let's put a little part in there. And the hair comes down like it's flowing in the wind. And this one covered the ear up as well, like so. And then the shoulders. And whenever you have points left, just round that off. Just round it off like so. And there's more shape to the arm than just being straight, but this is for the beginner. You just want to get it going before you start adding shape and dimension to it. And then the shape has a belt. So let's give her a belt buckle and some, this is now a utility belt like Batman. And to put these little pockets in there, they're just squares. They're just squares that go along her belt. And a utility or pocket usually has a flap. And that's just, you know, a little more detail than you need to know right now. And then there's a belt here, big buckle. And she has no symbol. She has no star symbol or anything. She just has designs because she's an assassin. We continue down to the legs, the boots, and I put a little shape in the leg because the legs curve in at the knees and then they come back out. And then we'll do the feet. And as I said, you can just do a little indentation right there to indicate where the toe comes around at. That way it just won't be a triangle as a foot. And then we'll do the hands, another finger, and I think I gave her gloves. I did give her a glove. So we won't give her any wristbands. Now, do this, and we'll do the design, which is the stripes, which came out, I threw so much on her, it's kind of hard to remember. We'll do for the sword. And I hope I'm not moving this paper back and forth to the point where you can't see my detail. Comes up, this is a V. And it would be her collarbone. And I think I did go here with this drawing. And let's do the sword. I'll make the sword more around her like the samurai. Sword. And it goes across. And I got fat right in here. And that's the bad thing about inking. Once you ink, you can't erase. And that V came here, and you see a little bit of the stomach right here, and it came up, and her shoulders like so. And let's color this. I'll color this. Let's go a little deeper. Let's make this black, provided my pen works. My marker works. then do the top of that boot. So this, how did you do this? Oh, I get it now. Lost me for a second, my own creation. There you go. And let's give her a black mask to match with a little light in the mask because it's shiny, like a leather shiny kind of mask. And let's finish his boot off. And the knee. And the sword could be, you know, black. Now, if you did this with color pencil, then it would come out better, shall we say? Or you can just add color to it. Erase some of that. Erase some of everything, and you can see what we have. A lot better. And let's work with this guy. As I say, let's work with his face. He's got the full mask, so you see the nose is extended. And the mouth, I'll give him a little more shape in his mouth. His head. And he has the slots for his ears to come out, so you'll see that. My pen wants to stop writing, but I'll keep going with it. And let's make the star, since it's so small, just make it black. And then the mask comes down and around the cheeks, like so. And then here's his ears, the detail in the ears, and in his hair. And put some hair down here too as well. So the neck, depending on how powerful, and I don't want to make this video too long, you have the head, depending on how powerful the person is. His neck. You can have his neck here. For the average guy, you can bring the neck in for, the underdeveloped kind of guy. Or you can have it wide for the hulking kind of guy, like that. And you see the difference. So if I put another guy here, another head here, and another head here, and I gave this guy a little neck, he would be more your boy, the boy's body. And I gave this guy here a wider neck, he would be your average man. And this guy here would be the Hulk type. So depending on how thick you make the neck determines the size of the body, the age, the power of the body, the power of the guy. So this guy, let's bring his neck out just a little bit more. Give him a little more power. So we'll have this uniform, since this comes down all the way, it'll go right down into his neck, his collar. So he won't have a collar like the girl. And we'll do the cape. And remember, we have some wrinkles here as the cape goes down. It's like a necklace. Like so. And then it comes up and off the shoulder. Now remember, I said round the shoulder off a little bit. And then come down. And I added a little more shape to the arm to make it fuller. You have your bicep, but that's in, that's when you start getting more detailed into the drawing. And I gave him wristbands. Take some of that thumb off. Like so, on the wristband, and he has short gloves, like that. So the body, the chest comes up, like so. The waist, give him a belt. Let's just give him a round buckle. And drawing that is just drawing an upside down house. If you have trouble drawing this part, I don't want to call it your waist. This is your waist, this part here. You're just drawing a house upside down. That's all it is. And your legs will come out from here and here. But you just want to round this off and leave some space. That's all it is. So if you had a house with legs coming out, that's all that would be. So don't be afraid to flip your paper over either. I'm ahead of myself, because that helps, you know, turning. And I taught at one school, and the teacher made the kids take the paper down, and I cringed every time I saw that, because it's easy, especially inking, to turn your paper around, because it's easier to pull your pencil than to push your pencil. So don't be afraid to turn your paper around to make some good lines. Now we'll do the legs, the knees, and wow, he's got really high boots. And inking is a good thing, because you can cover up some of the mistakes, or you can do a little more detail to the mistakes that you made in doing pencil. But inking is so final, so you want to take your time whenever you ink, because if you mess up, then you're messed up. Get the cape here. Remember, I say put some waves in the cape. Always put waves in your cape. It looks good. Look at your curtains. If you have curtains, and look how your curtains have those folds in it, and then you'll understand what these are. These are the lines when the folds come together. They create an up, an out, and an in, like that. And whenever you have an in, the material goes up like so. And that's basically what this is. I'm just doing a rough of that. So when you open your curtains, you know, then it becomes more like this, wide open. And the same thing, if this guy was flying, his cape would open up, you know, like so. Versus if he's not flying, it'll just hang down off of his back like that. So, okay, we have that. And anytime I draw, you know, there's so much information that I want to give to, you know, students, that, you know, I go off subject a lot, but I always believe that drawing is 70% knowledge and 30% doing. And that's what I believe, and that's what I'm sticking with. So we're almost done with this guy. And we'll give him a color scheme somehow, some way. Since the shorts are black, it's the old school shorts. And anytime you have a black something, usually there's a shine because of the light, and you can just leave a gap in space, and it gives it a good look of shine. And the same way I did her mask. And I'm going off base again. Anytime you do something like, well, you see I left the line, if you, I don't know what I'm gonna draw this. If there's a crease, that does not gonna make sense, because I'm overthinking. If there's a crease in something like the line here, and you do this black, you always want to leave that space so people can see that crease. Just like this, if I did that black, you would leave a white area here so that you can tell this comes up into his arm. Same way I did that, and like under her chest, I left that white under there, that line, so that you can see where it comes out at. But just with practice, you'll get it. And I'll do the boots. I'll make the boots black too. So usually where the boots fit, there's going to be some kind of wrinkle here. And this is what I'm saying. You leave a little bit of a white line. Same thing here with the toe. You leave that. You can come down to it, but just leave a little bit of white line like so. And it gives you that wrinkle look. And the boots are always shiny, so you definitely want to leave a white streak there. And the same thing with the other, because there's a wrinkle there from when you move your feet. You want to leave that, and you want to leave this white as well. So much information, but it helps. All to make you a better artist. And let's give him black gloves too. And it's all about the color. How do you match color for your characters? And I leave too much light in the hand, which I should have, but I didn't. And that's a big hand, but this is a quick drawing, quick rough drawing. Some light here. Just a little light there. And since we're adding black, let's balance it off. Take this and the star. And the 3 little bullets. And I was 30 seconds from finishing and my camera cut off on me. I don't know why, but the only thing I had to do was color this little part and I was finished. So I hope that this video was very helpful to you and that you were excited and you went out and started drawing your own superheroes. But check out the links below and it will lead you to my channel, and you can see some of my other videos that may be helpful to you. And once again, give me a comment if you like. I'll do some more videos for the younger artists, and then we'll go from there. Leave a comment, subscribe. Thank you very much. I'll see you in another video.